Advanced bending. Advanced bending or playing all of the bend notes that are available and using them in your music in the first octave of the harmonica, holes 1 through 4, is to me a lot tougher than overblowing. Intonation is very difficult on these notes, and the higher up the harmonica, the harder it becomes. Okay, and by that I mean the higher up in key. When you get up to a D or an E flat or something like that, it can be very hard to get these notes in tune. Here I'm using an A harmonica. All right, anyway, getting these notes in tune is rough for a few reasons, okay? You have a variety of different bends, so it's very easy to stray into the wrong bend. Unlike in an overblow, once you pop the note, you're almost there. You might be a little bit sharp, you might be a little bit flat, but it's very easy to just sort of adjust and fix it. Let's take the 4 overblow. There it is. So once you get it, you can kind of push it up further and further, or like the 5. Anyway, it's pretty hard to push it up, so it's actually easier, because it's hard, to get it to kind of push up a little bit and then rest and right where it's in tune. I generally play them flat, so then I quickly adjust and put them back in tune. And then after a while, muscle memory, like what just took place there, takes place, and you just start to automatically play them in tune. But let me play them flat on purpose again, or for the first time anyway. And then you bend it up into tune. Well, the same thing happens with the draw notes, or draw bends, and I'm not going to get into blow bends yet, but it's very easy to play them out of tune. Hey, that's my phone. Who is it? Gina Fox. I'll have to call her back. Anyway, yeah, so what you do is bend the one draw and then see what you got. One draw, bend. Now, you can actually get these single half-step bends out of tune. You can play them much too hard. Now, there's a thing online called the Bendometer. I strongly recommend you check it out. Bendometer. All right, just Google search it. It's a free service, but you can download it as well and have it on your computer, and then you can make a donation, which you should, because it's a marvelous, marvelous program that teaches you about getting your intonation correct. The one I always bend out of tune, and this is, I'm talking only about half-step bends, is the 6th draw. Michael Peliquin always brings that to my attention, and recently now I'm starting to get it more in tune. Okay, bending in tune is so important, okay, because it really opens up your level of chromaticism, and in an area that overblows don't. And you only need one overblow in the first octave, okay? So, you know, you can, your bends are so important down there. Let's go over them. You have the 1 draw bend. You have 2 bends on the 2 hole inhale bend. 3 on the 3 hole. And then 1 on the 4. By 1 I mean a half step, okay? By 2 I mean a whole step. By 3 I mean a step and a half. A quarter on the 5, which is just an inflection. And then a half on the 6th draw. Anyway, you get the idea. There's a lot to do with bends. I showed you some stuff in the very beginning of this clip, and I hope you liked that stuff. That is some of the stuff that I heard Howard Levy and Michael Peliquin and McCulloch doing that initially I thought was all overblows. I didn't play one overblow out of any of those riffs there. Those are all regular notes. By regular, I mean bends. Okay, so getting them in tune. Take an exercise. Take the 2-draw first, since it has multiple bends in it. Then practice bending it a whole step. That's a pretty popular blues note. Maybe you should have that by now, or maybe you're learning that, but here's something to consider even if you haven't got it yet. You may be only bending halfway. Okay, that note is the major 7. It's a very pretty note and a very useful note in a lot of ways. People don't even realize, especially blues people, don't realize how useful that note can be even in cross harp. Especially when you get to the 4 chord or in the 5 chord and stuff like that, okay? But anyway, try bending it down chromatically and then back up. Then do the same thing with the 3, starting on the 3 natural. Bend a half step, bend a whole step, bend a step and a half. Now you can even add a tuh sound so you can really isolate them. Tongue against 2 front teeth. Ting, ting, tong, tong. All right, anyway. And then go back up. Then take the tuh sound out after a little while. That was almost a chromatic scale missing the 1 overblow. There it was with the overblow, okay? So anyway, every note chromatic all the way up except for 1, the sharp 5 in this case in cross harp, using an E, playing in the key of E with an A harmonica. Let me give you a little example of all the stuff you can do. Let's just take the 3-draw. I'm going to play an entire blues on the 3-draw. On the 1 chord, which would be E, because I'm playing this, harmonica in cross harp, I'm going to play the 3-draw natural. When it goes to the 4 chord, when a natural blues progression goes to the 4 chord, I'm going to play the 3-draw bent a half step. When it goes to the 5 chord, I'm going to play the 3-draw bent a whole step, and then back to the 4 chord, half step, 3, back to the 1 chord, 3-draw natural. All right, I'm not going to use any other note on the harmonica, and I'm going to play an entire blues on 1 whole, just bending. Okay? Check it out. 1 chord, 4 chord, 1 chord, 5, back to the 1, 1, I'm improvising. On the 4, back to the 1, to the 5, now to the 4, back to the 1. Can you see what I'm talking about? You can play a lot of stuff just there, just on that note. All advanced bending techniques. All right, I'm going to give you guys a lot more of this stuff. Practice getting them in tune. Work with the piano, work with the bendometer. They're really, really important. This is what separates the men from the boys in the harmonica world. The hardest thing to do on my harmonica, in my opinion, is getting your bends accurate and in tune. Good luck with it, and I'll do more on this subject later. Thanks.